Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, we're going to do a breakdown on Federal 16 gauge 12 pellet number 1 buck shell. Advertised muzzle velocity is 1225 FPS, so that's not bad at all. 12 pellets of 30 cal at 1225? Yeah. Hey, Ethel, what you doing? Anyway, if you guys couldn't hear in the background, well, it is raining here, as it's been doing for the last about 2 weeks straight. Near constant rain. It just won't stop. Really depressing. But everything's green. It's looking nice here in Kentucky. But anyway, for a snooze and drink combo today, G3 wire. And why that? Because it is Red Bull flavor, and I have a Red Bull. Excellent pairing. Red Bull flavored snooze. So, for a better look at the box, we done seen that side. This side is sort of a buckshot size chart, and they're all true to their size, but we know Federal are not using true sizes for their buckshot loads. Some warnings right there. The other side of the box is the same as the first side I showed you, and this is just some more warnings. The back of it is again warnings. Nothing special, just regular old Federal blue box. I don't know what that is. It was on there when I bought it. So, here's what the shell looks like. If you didn't know, Federal's 16 gauge is purple, and I think that is just awesome. We have a brass plated steel head with a Federal primer. Not sure if that's a 209A or not, but it is a Federal primer. The crimp on it looks, I've seen better. I've also seen worse, but still, that is not a very good crimp. We'll see if we can take care of that whenever I go to put it back together. And all it says on it is Federal 1 buck, 2 3/4 inch, 70 millimeter, and that would be it. You can actually see the pellets through the plastic. These hulls are somewhat translucent. Looks like it has a buffer, and I expect these to be loaded with no shot cup, just conventionally loaded. If I'm not mistaken, right here I can see what appears to be a nitro card. But without further ado, let's crack this open and see how it's put together. So 12 pellets of 30 cal number 1 buck without any buffer should weigh 1.1 ounces. And in this one we have 0.987 of an ounce. Obviously, they're not using 30 cal here, they're using something else. So, I did measure one of these. Turns out, they're using 28 cal. Now that is pretty typical of factory number 1 buckshot shells. Sad to see, but it's true. And as for our shot, well, that's not really looking too good. It is quite oxidized. I don't know how old these shells are, but going off the box, I'd say, and the price, I'd say they're probably around 15 years old. At least 10 for sure. But, yeah, the shot doesn't really look all that impressive. Sorry if you can't hear me too well. The neighbors are getting rather excited. So, again, this should be a 1.1 ounce load, but it being 28 cal, it's only 9/10 of an ounce. I really wish they would have used full 30 cal number 1 buck, but it is what it is. Like I said, 28 cal is about the standard size for factory number 1 shells. If you recall, the total payload weight was about 0.99, right at 1 ounce. And we have a ton of buffer in this shell. And as you can see, I was not kidding. There is a ton of buffer in that shell. It's actually impressive how much buffer was in it. So, here's what our gas seal looks like. It is Federal's, I don't know, stem wad, I like to call it. They can control stack height by rolling the stem portion of it down. It does have what I'll call pedals, and they do just roll that down depending on what stack height they need, which is pretty cool. On top of that, we have a 1/8 inch nitro card, and that is just a standard 16 gauge nitro card. For a charge, we have 16.2 of more of that mysterious black flake powder that we see very commonly in target shells. And as is standard for Federal 16 gauge, we do have a fiber base wad, and it is low. You can see the primer is sticking up above it quite a bit. Nothing unusual here. And here's what it looks like put back together. It's worse than when it came out of the box. Not even the GOT BN2 could save that one. It is off-center and kind of octagon shaped, but it is what it is. So that was Federal's 12 pellet #1 buckload for 16 gauge. This was pretty interesting. It's not how I would put it together by any means, but still cool nonetheless. We'll see you guys in the next one.